now going to call someone who also has a really good understanding of civil rights, voting rights in the state of Virginia, but then also the plight of immigrants, and has a deep level of empathy because the other part of his state is very much a diverse state with people made up from various parts of the world, and that would be representing the 4th Congressional District of Virginia, Representative Donald McEachin.
Mr. Speaker, I thank the gentleman for yielding, and I thank the gentleman as well as the gentlewoman for leading tonight's conversation about so many issues that are important to the American people. Mr. Speaker, the President's baseless executive order on immigration has hurt this country. It has hurt this country to the extent that it has made us less safe, and has hurt this country to the extent that it goes against our values as a nation. Mr. Speaker, our Constitution says that we will not favor any religion over another, yet the President has instituted a religious test for entry into this country just 1 week after his inauguration. Mr. Speaker, this is a travesty. This rule has inconvenienced travel back to America over the weekend for any number of permanent residents and those of all backgrounds who serve our country. Mr. President, I know this because it's actually impacted citizens of the 4th Congressional District. Mr. President, I have a constituent who has been a permanent resident for 20 years. He had visited his family in Cairo and was on his way back to Virginia when he was turned around. He was actually sent to Qatar, Mr. Speaker, where he has no connections, where he has no business. He was just sent there because he was denied entry back home. Mr. Speaker, my congressional staff worked around the clock, along with his employer, to get him back home, and thanks be to God, he is indeed home. But, Mr. Speaker, this is unacceptable, and it cannot go on. I can't help but think of Leviticus chapter 19, verse 34, where we are reminded, Mr. Speaker, to treat the foreigner in our midst as if he was one of our own. Mr. Speaker, the President's order does not do this. It is an offense to all Americans. It's an offense to the Judeo-Christian ethic. Mr. Speaker, it cannot be allowed to stand, and I will work every day along with my colleagues in the CBC and other like-minded individuals in this Congress to reverse this order. Mr. Speaker, I yield back.